9. Yes,
Hey.
oh, that was pretty. Hi, how you doing?
Uh, just waking up every day, keeping it together, trying my very best. Um, can I share with the people today? Um, I know last week I talked to you guys about Maury, what was her name? That queen, that God, Mary Terrapore. She was my negotiations teacher. And we had our final clinic with her at the business class, 10KSB business class. And so, she basically said what I shared before, that half the battle of negotiation is envisioning and knowing what you want. And so, she said that's like 90%, and then 10% is just the technique. And the technique being, you have your goal, the highest amount, like your aspirational goal, your mid goal where you're flexible and you negotiate around, and then your bottom line. And so she comes in, she's this powerful little being. She says stuff that pierces your heart. And then she's like, okay, now we're going to practice. And so she gave us this sheet of paper that had a case study on it. And the case study was basically there was one seller and then 3 buyers. And she gave everybody had their the lowest that you could possibly go. And then you had to make up using the information that was on the paper, you had to make out, your numbers after that. Do you understand what I mean by the lowest? Do you understand what I'm saying? Is that clear?
The lowest number that you're...
Yeah, like your bottom line. Like you can't go any lower than this. If you go lower than this, then you're lost out. And so I was the seller and I had 3 buyers. So it was basically 3 people vying for me to sell them something. And I had to negotiate to get the highest possible price that I could. And right when I got the paper, my heart sunk because it was all these numbers, all this math. And I immediately was like, I don't understand. Like, I didn't quite understand the logic of it all. And I was just basically shaking. And we had 4 minutes to read the letter. And then you had to go out and you had to fucking negotiate. And I had 3 people that I had to negotiate. And I was like, they're clearly going to know I do not know what the fuck is going on. And so I did it. And, I went out there with the 3 people and I basically I sat them all 3 together and I made them kind of pitch to me in front of each other. And then I took them all individually. And as I was talking to them, it all started coming together and make sense to me. And I started to gain my confidence around, okay, yeah, this number, this makes sense. Now I then created in my head what my highest number was that I wanted and then where I was flexible with. Then we got down to the final wire. We had like 5 minutes left. And my heart sunk again because when it got a little bit difficult and it was all 3 of them in front of me and I had to basically stay in my power, I kind of sank and I left the meeting feeling like I undersold myself. I felt awful. And when you go back to the class, what she does is she reveals everybody sees their numbers their highest number that they bid. And I was just terrified. I just knew that I had one of the lowest in the class and I was just beating myself up. And when she put the numbers all out, I had the 4th highest number in the class. And it was such a lesson to me, number one, and I can't stop thinking about it, that I think we always think negotiation is like a money thing. It's something that you have when you need to make a deal, like Donald Trump type shit, and you're always against high-powered people. But it made me really realize that every single part of our lives is basically a negotiation. All of our relationships are a negotiation. And the foundation is your self-worth and how you feel and how you talk to yourself. Had I not seen those numbers up there and saw that I did quote unquote well, I would have still been in a spiraling and beating myself up and angry at myself when in fact I didn't do bad. But my self-talk was bad. And I felt powerless. And I was like, it was so mind-blowing to me. And I was just thinking about how many relationships that same scenario plays out in, and that there's not a clarity about what I really want, number one. And then how easily if there's any kind of resistance or there's conflict, or not even that, if there's just ambiguity, often I will go to the bottom versus like staying in that middle. You know what I mean? Like that's where you have the power. It's like, maybe you won't get $1 billion, but if you're like, all right,
you're underselling yourself.
You're underselling yourself. And I never
or undervaluing
have the wherewithal. I noticed in both of these practices where I didn't have the wherewithal to stay in that middle ground and really dance with that person and really, sit with it. And today has been a really hard day. It's in doing business at Antoinette, as you know, there's just obstacle after obstacle. And one obstacle requires that these three other things have to be done before this one obstacle can even be addressed. And those three other things are in this area of expertise that you have no understanding of, like, what the fuck is that? And you're in this space where you're making something out of nothing in so many ways. And then you're also it just feels like a lot of pressure. It feels like a lot of pressure. And I caught myself and I feel myself spiraling and thinking like, you're not cut for this. You can't do this shit. Like, you've been doing this for so long. When are you going to get it together? Yada, yada, yada. And then right before I got on this call, and on the podcast, I was thinking about the negotiations class, and it was just kind of like a reminder of, but in reality, I could be doing really well. You know what I mean? Like, in reality, I could be okay, but it's my self-talk and how I'm viewing myself that is creating my reality. Does that make, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you don't believe in your value.
Yeah, it's just this pattern that I'm in. And I felt a sense of relief of being like, actually, girl, your performance may be fine. You just have this, I could be giving it my all, like killing it in my game, killing it. But I still would have this perception of like, no, it's just not good enough. It's not right. You don't know what you're doing. I'm just sitting with that and trying to catch myself and trying to realize that what I'm thinking is not always the truth with a capital T. Often it isn't, and kind of even feeling some sense of relief that that's true. That I'm not my thought, or the reality is not necessarily all the thoughts that I keep thinking about myself. But anyway, that's what's going on over here. That was last Friday, and then Saturday.
Wait, before you continue, can I just offer something?
Sure.
I think it's really powerful that you said that you think about how that shows up, that talk and this kind of pattern shows up in other areas outside of business. Because I would offer that it's showing up in business because it's deeply rooted in you in all areas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
and like, I'm like, what would happen? And I'm talking to myself as well, but what would happen if we showed up and we were very clear about our value when it comes to who we are? Even if we don't know, we can figure it out when it comes to how we show up in the world, when it comes to this podcast, when it comes to Sable, when it comes to mothering, when it comes to intimate relationships, you know, like you said a couple weeks ago how the talk that your mom has with you around like, oh, yeah, and I know that you kind of can brush that off, but I'm sure it still seeps into your brain of, oh, you know, damaged goods. Nobody wants to raise somebody else's kid. Like hearing that and hearing that somehow you're less than and having that person knock you down a bit, there's no way that doesn't seep in.
Yeah, there has to be, there has.
But I also think there's comfort too in that. Like, oh, I don't know, you know me, like that kind of thing too. That I think I've noticed, we both have found comfort in self-deprecation. Even the way we talk about the podcast.
Yeah, of course.
And like, oh, you know, our raggedy selves. It's like, actually, no, we're charting. We're actually really great. And the fact that people support us and pay to see us and we're a remote podcast is a big deal. Like, we need to celebrate those things. And when we have conversations with people about what we do, I think that's why I want the clarity around the elevator pitch so badly, because it's time for us to stand in that power. It's time for you to stand in that power in all areas, as a mother, as a partner, as a friend, as a businesswoman. Like, you can say all this stuff about Sable, but Sable has kept your lights on and put your daughter through private school.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
And you did it in a, you know, failed business partnership, and you took it and you made it into what it is. It was your baby, it was your vision. So I don't know. Are you Melissa Butler yet? Not yet. Do you want to be? I don't even fucking know. But like, you created something where it's yours. And just like you said, it's magic. You're literally creating something that doesn't exist and envisioning what that is and putting it together, building it.
Yeah, it's the practice of knowing that, embodying that.
Embodying that shit. Toni Morrison style.
It is, yeah, we have no choice, because I know too much now. Now I know too much about myself. I hate that so much. I know too much. So now it's like, even me upset today and feeling like falling into that comfortable groove of like, oh, I'm not gonna get this, I won't versus being like, no, this is your growing pain, it's coming together slowly but surely, you're understanding something more this week than I did last week.
Ciao.
Like, I'm learning, and to be grateful and excited, yes, and feel empowered by the learning curves and the growing pains versus crippled by it, or, you know, at a deficit. So, God damn it. Yeah, quite a week. And then on Saturday, you know, I was really sad on Saturday. And I knew we had to do the thing is live show. And in all honesty, I was just not feeling it or anything at all. I really wasn't for it. I was supposed to head out the door at like 3:00, 2:30. I was still in bed, like, Shanti, all right, you could do it. Get up, just get it together. And you called me like, hey, you busy? And I was like, yeah, I'm getting ready right now.
You lied to me. I was like,
oh,
okay.
Yeah, girl, what you want? Like, you're getting in the way. I'm about to get in the car. What you want? But I showed up, and right before I walked out the door again, it's been a lot of pep talks. Like, girl, you have to like be open to these beautiful people that you're going to see and this moment that you're going to have, and get out of your head and keep your heart open for what's possible. And it was such a lovely evening. It was really fun to be with Mandy and Bridget. It was really, it was amazing to watch them work. It was amazing to see something that they've built out of nothing, and the 10,000 hours that they've put in to create and produce that. And all the people, the dope people that make it happen with them, I really appreciated. And the audience was wonderful. Just Philly. First of all,
Look at my
Philly
face.
is loud. We went up on that stage, and of course, so you're sitting up on the stage, you have your mic, you have your idea of what you guys are going to talk about, preset idea, and damn if we could get through that fucking outline.
Nope.
We could not, because Philly was like, no, because, and then Mandy, girl, and like, at least 10 people had that kind of energy talking over each other.
10. There were so many more people.
That front row was...
They were
a
rah-rah.
It was fun, though. It was a lot of fun, and I felt really good when I left. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity and for the energy and the people that were there. It was a nice recovery from Friday. So that's it, y'all.
Yeah. I'm exhausted, I'll be honest. I'm really tired, but
You're
really
on tour.
grateful. No, I'm not. I'm really grateful. Hit the ground running Saturday, drove down, did the show. You left out the fact that when I called you, I needed you to save my ass because I forgot my outfit at the Airbnb we were staying at. So Shanti had to drive and go get that and bring it to the venue. And I was like, Mandy doesn't need to know. It's fine.
Oh, Mandy didn't know that?
Hell no. I was like, because you know what? You have to have discernment. If it was something that she needed to know that I couldn't handle, then she would have known it. But the way she was busy, just get it done. Leave that girl alone.
That's funny.
So yeah, Philly was a very interesting crowd. Real, just interactive is what I'm going to say. And Mandy and them were like, I don't know how to feel. Did they like it? Like, I couldn't even hear. I said they loved it. That's what you got to understand. If they're usually Philly is sitting there unimpressed and they've got nothing for you. So the fact that they were interactive and talking and very much a part of the show, that means they were engaged and doing their thing. So I was happy to be in Philly. And then we went down to DC, got bright and early, drove down there. That show was very interesting. Had a lot of running around to do for that. And then drove back that same night. Got in at like 5 a.m. and then recorded another episode Monday.
Listen.
And then we got the last live show Friday. And so I'm super grateful to be a part of it. The fact that they've had me on for 3 shows. The fact that Bridget has shared the vocal mic with me. I'm sure that was Mandy's suggestion.
Antoinette sang. The production of the show was just really tight, really, really engaging. Y'all sounded great. It was wonderful to see you up there. I don't think I've seen you perform since your show. I think that's the last time I saw you perform on a stage was your show.
That's crazy.
So that was wonderful.
Yeah. So that was great. And the DC crowd was lovely. Very different from the Philly crowd, much more well-behaved, a little more mild-mannered.
A medium income, that's why.
But they were really, really cool. And just lovely folks that I got to meet all around. So really grateful for that and receiving all of the very affirming messages that I received. And I think we both tend to be like, oh no, someone compliments us and we have to shy away from it or make a joke or self-deprecate. But I am at this time going to sit in this and sit in the fact that I have a full-time job that is very demanding. They are pinging now, and I'm going to ignore it. But my chest is like burning just thinking about what the hell is going on. But I'm not. I'm just going to ignore it. 2 podcasts now with Around the Way Girls Can't Afford Therapy. And then also doing work on See the Thing Is and managing it all. And that is not a small feat. And I'm proud of myself
Mm-hmm.
and doing it with intention, doing it in a way where I feel like I'm representing myself, um, making mistakes, but learning. But yeah, I feel really powerful. I feel really hungry and motivated. I'm motivated for us to get our live show together. We've had opportunity to do it, but it just the clarity around what we would do. I think you said it best. And so for people who are like, we want a live show, it's like Shanti and I have to be authentic to who we are and what we do here. And so I go to other people's live shows and it's like maybe super heavy in pop culture, which is like dope, great. That's like the read. They're brilliant. And then you've got Mandy and Bridget who like have their freshly squeezed where they incorporate music. And then they have these games with folks. And I was thinking like, what game would we do? And you were like, what's your trauma today? Like, it's just, we have to figure out what that is. And maybe a live show, isn't it? I don't know. If folks have suggestions, we
Yeah, I
are
would
more than
love to
open.
know
I would love to know
what
because
you think would be an
what do you
authentic
want?
Around the Way Curls live show. What would you guys want to see?
We've talked
What
about an
would you
idea.
expect from us? Because I don't know. I don't know. That's so interesting that I just can't see us playing games with other people's kids. Just kidding.
Maybe it's us playing games with each other. Maybe it's the newlywed game. I don't think that you would know a lot of the things about me. I got to be honest. And I think that's funny, but whatever. I don't know. I also think maybe it's breakout sessions. You know me, I'm stuck on this idea of like duality is a thing. Come, let's do Reiki and yoga and then eat. And then after that, let's do a pole dancing class and a twerk class. I don't know.
Like less of a show and more of a like
experience.
People meeting together, multi sensory, multi things going on versus being in a spotlight, we on a couch.
And we have to do some of that, but now's not the time to brainstorm. But I feel really activated. I feel really good, and I'm really, really grateful to Mandy specifically, who, since she has entered my life, she has done nothing but amplify my voice and put money in my pocket.
Listen, friends that.
That's all she's done. So I recognize that, and I'm really grateful to her.
Thank you, Mandy.
Yeah.
Sweet baby Mandy.
And then I also had a realization, girl, that after this weekend of being around all these people, my deep sadness that I often talk about is because it's rooted in me not being around humans. It's rooted in me working from home, talking to a screen, and usually the cameras are not on, and then having to just do a whole bunch of work at night, try to fit all the things in.
You're a human, a social creature.
Did you know? I did not know. I said, what? I got to be around people. That's why I said
interact. Aww.
I've been actually like putting myself in solitary confinement. So going to try to find this balance, even though I'm hungry. I'm going to try to find the balance of, all right, you have to have some social time and not social time on the phone, which is great. But my social time, honestly, is this podcast with you. Is like, this is me being social. That is unhealthy. Seriously. And sad.
It is.
And pitiful. No, talk nice to yourself. But it is a little bit pitiful. A little bit. So that has to change. But I realized how good I felt just being in the presence of folks, feeling their energy, even sitting next to someone and touching their skin, hugging the listeners, like seeing their faces. It was just like, oh, I haven't had this, but I'm also not giving up this remote job, so I gotta figure it out. You know
I'm about to say,
fuck out of here. I wouldn't be honestly.
When you were in the office, sir?
I would not be able to get half the shit I get done for Around the Way Curls that Can't Afford Therapy if I had to go into an office. If I had to commute to an office and then I couldn't, like, on the side be uploading videos and shit while I'm in said office, it would not get, like, I don't know how. Or listen to, like, CNN. I can't. So I just got to figure out another way. I have to
God is
be,
good. God is making it
yeah.
work. God is
Anyway,
Whenever you say I'm feeling hungry, I keep thinking like, are you?
like I gotta eat.
Yeah, like girl, what you-
No,
I'm hungry. I'm like, girl, go get yourself some food. Where your little salad at?
my little salad, my vinegary ass
Yeah, that's
dressing.
you be chopping on.
I just watched some kale yesterday. Anyway, this is a long ass update, but this is going to be a free flowing episode, and we are only skimming politics because we just need to be lighthearted this
Well,
week.
I was getting on my own nerves. I know we was probably getting on people's nerves after a while.
Definitely.
So I was like, all right, shut the fuck up. First of all,
enough.
You don't even know what you're talking about because.
Oh, speaking of don't know what you're talking about, a horrible mistake was made.
Dumbasses up. Oh, hey, I'm wrong.
What's annoying is that somebody called and said it too, and they said I said it. And I was like, I wasn't even leading that week, but I probably did. You probably were like, oh, what's it called? What's it called? And then I said, the person that was responsible for bringing these charges up on Trump was the DEA. That is very close.
Then what is that, drug
Why
enforcement
did I say that? It's so frustrating.
Oh.
I'm telling you, after a long ass day of work, and then you get on here and you have to try to be smart.
We're Herman.
No, that is embarrassing. Like, I want to go back and edit that episode. That's going to live on. I hate it. And what if they listen to that and they never hear this? It's
what
the
if they
district
listen to that
attorney.
Really think it is the DEA, and then they're going to go around regurgitating what we said all along.
God damn it.
Yeah, because that's a black man. He is the DEA, head of the DEA.
You want to know why I probably said that? Because I'm fucking watching Snowfall. And Snowfall, the DEA plays a major part in it. And it's just frustrating. It's fine. They mention the DEA quite a bit. And I was watching old episodes, and I think I just said that. But that annoys me because I'm like, why couldn't she have said that? She was leading that week. I should have just shut up.
I might have said it.
No, somebody called and said it was me. They was like, Antoinette, you just be loud and wrong. She went on and on. She was like, and you know
Not
what?
you trying to have it put it on me. That should have been Shanti.
I was like, damn, all you had to do was shut up. Anyway, y'all, sorry. But it is the district attorney. And maybe that's wrong. I don't know. No, that's right.
So. That's right.
That's right.
Jesus. Is
right.
it?
Come on. Rate, subscribe, share, y'all. Thank you.
Rate, subscribe, share with your friends, your mom, and everybody. Become a Patreon on our Patreon.
What? Become a
patron on our Patreon. Yeah, ciao. Subscription. You can see these episodes in real time. You can see the tears roll down our eyes. Antoinette slobbers occasionally. You can see the real fucking deal. All right?
You can see our unkept homes behind us. Is your bed mate?
Is it? It's just slightly.
Oh, I thought those were clothes. Those patches. Is it a quilt?
Because you keep saying remarks like your house is never. Like, what are you talking about?
No, your house. First of all, it's my house right now. Can you see my floor? Oh, all right, good.
See, if you were watching Patreon, you would know what we talking about.
As long as you can't see, I tried to throw it all on that side.
It do be just like here.
It's a whole bunch of stuff right here. Anyway.
God is good.
Come on, let's take a break. Will you sing?
Answer these messages. We'll be right back.
Boop. I got it. District Attorney versus
Why would you just
DEA.
say 29? That just makes me so upset what you just did. Why would you do that? I can't live with that.
I just saw what I did. Well, because it came on at 28.59 seconds. See, if Monty, I tried to put the accurate time. She changed it, so it ain't me. All right, ready?
And we are back. Thank you for still being here. And we're on to our next topic. Hot shit. Y'all, the way my panties were wet for the return of the fucking Succession, how excited I was for this. Oh my Lord. The first episode of the final fourth season has started. I plan on talking about this every week because
I think it's a great idea.
it's such a good show. And for me, the energy, the camera work that they're doing this
It's different.
season is different. I said, what are they trying to communicate? The writing?
Do you hear Tom's voice? You know, Tom's voice changes depending on who he talks to, right? So his voice is much higher with Shiv. You got to go back and watch. His voice is higher with Shiv because she, quote unquote, emasculates him. And then his voice drops with cousin Greg.
Oh, Greg.
Because
he's
got power over Greg. Yeah. And now that he's, more firm with Logan, it's like a medium. Because when he's nervous with Logan, it shoots up. But it's a different timbre altogether. I was like, this is brilliant.
You know he's a British actor, right?
Of course. And Shiv is Australian.
Oh, she's Australian. She's pregnant.
I know.
First of all, if you had to say who you were the closest, if you had to pick one of the kids that you feel...
Roman.
Me too.
That's who I am in my family. If I was anybody, I'm Roman. I'm inappropriate. But can I give you another piece?
What?
Guess who the actor who plays Roman, Macaulay Culkin's brother? What's his name? Syrian? Sorry, it's
Kieran.
Kieran. Okay. Guess who he was originally auditioning to play?
Ooh, I know
Greg. Believe it or not. And guess who wanted to play Roman?
Who?
Kendall.
Oh no.
No.
I love the casting were genius. They were just genius.
Yeah, they were like, Kendall wanted to play Roman, and then he quickly realized, like, just not for me. And then Roman was like, actually, Greg is not for me. And the casting directors had the vision. Brilliant.
It's the first time that I've seen, what's his name? The father have ache for his kids in a way. It's the first time we've seen the character show love Logan for his kids in a way. And listening to an NPR episode, the actor Brian Cox answers the question, or Terry Gross asks him, like, does Logan love his kids? And he was, well, in order for Brian Cox to find his motivation to act out Logan, he had to know the answer if he loved his kids, and he does.
To the best of his, not the way Bell Hooks would define love. Bell Hooks would say
he's just not pure evil. He cares about his kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, he does.
Anyway, fucking obsessed.
What's your predictions though? Who's gonna win the company?
I think one of the kids they're gonna betray each other. I don't think they're gonna stay. I think the kids are gonna crack again. And you could see it in that first episode that Shiv was still out for her fucking self. Roman was the only one that was like, yo, I thought we were going to do this. Like, he's the one
I love him.
I thought we were going to do this together. And he also still very much loves his dad. So I think that unit is definitely going to fracture. I think the wife's going to come out the woodworks because that's a bad bitch on the low. I don't know where she coming from, but she going to come out the woodworks. Marsha. She's an incredible actress too. I don't know, Queen. I don't quite understand all of the money stuff, so I can't say like, well, they're gonna be bought up by Gojo. Like, I don't know.
I think Logan wins. In the end, I still think he wins.
Who do you want? Because those niggas don't know what they're doing, and do they deserve it? I still haven't figured that out. Do they deserve it?
I don't know.
They deserve something.
He built it.
Yeah, they deserve something of him emotionally, but I think in the context of the business, them niggas don't know what they're doing. Although if they work together, their superpowers could be wonderful because Roman's gut, the fact that Roman doesn't actually feel good about whatever they just did is a cue to me that whatever they just did was a bad choice.
But he also has an interesting gut because let's not forget that he was the person that told that. What was it? It was like a rocket that was supposed to launch. He was trying to get it to launch early, and then it blew up and killed a bunch of people.
I don't know if that was a gut choice, but I can't remember all his gut choices actually. For the most part, they've been pretty good. I
If
don't know.
any of the kids got it, I do think, well,
No, they're all.
I think he's the one that would be the least, even though he has his shit.
But his shit would take him down.
Really?
Yeah,
Why? I think his
that
shit.
photo that came out, that got public, it would
What
fuck up
photo?
everything. Roman, the dick
Oh, that
pic.
he sent
Not
to
well.
Jerry.
Not that he's not well, but
But Shiv is good, but Shiv's not smart with the business.
she
She
doesn't have the
overplays her hand,
experience.
and
She
Kendall
doesn't
is
have the
just a.
experience.
Anyway, we got to move on. But Kendall is just a hot ass murdering mess. Child.
Oh, straight. If you have never
Oh,
seen him,
bleep that out, Monty. Bleep that M word out. I don't want to give it away. Anyway, keep it pushing. Oh, me. Should we watch Swarm? All the
yes.
girls are talking about it.
I know. I don't think I have the cable network to watch it. I gotta get somebody passcode.
No, it's on something that you can watch.
Like, no, I don't have it.
It's on Amazon.
You know I don't have it.
You don't have an Amazon Prime membership? When you
Uh-uh.
buy things, you pay for shipping?
Yeah, like a good citizen.
Okay. I'm going to give you my Prime membership and just make sure when you buy stuff, you ship it to your house. Don't pay for shipping, girl.
You act like that's not getting absorbed in the price somewhere, child. You ain't getting that shit for free.
Yeah, but you're paying for it.
Oh, good point. Good points for me.
You're helping pay for my shit.
Well, this is good. I like that. That's
You know
really...
Malia helped write it? She was a co-writer?
Yeah. Looking all androgynous. I said,
love it.
I'm also very excited for 1001 with Tiana Taylor. I saw the trailer and I'm very emo, but it made me cry and I was like, yes, this is exactly what I need right now.
Her fillers are distracting me though in that trailer.
Her fillers?
Her face fillers.
Oh, I know.
I'm getting so distracted by it. Like, I can't stop looking at her cheeks. But she looks like she's acting her ass off in this. She's talented.
I listened to... She is.
She's so talented.
I watched the NPR review, and normally them white folks be ripping them movies a new one, but they actually enjoyed it. So, I'm afraid to go see that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that
as well. Shout out to Tiana.
Also, lastly, on our hot shit, you can see some of the live footage from See the Things Is live show on their Patreon. And I believe their Patreon is patreon.com/See the Thing Is podcast. So make sure you support our girls and check that out and enjoy, because they actually give additional content on their Patreon. Next, politics as usual. Not going to spend a lot of time on this week because we need a break. But we would be remiss if we did not mention the school shooting that took place recently. It was Monday. And I was driving to go do the podcast with Mandy and them, and this came on my phone. And I got so nervous because I have family that live in Nashville, and their daughter is of that age group. And I knew that she didn't go to a school, she went to a pre-K at a church, like a church kind of situation. And so I text my cousin like, hey, I'm looking at the news, are you okay? And she responded back and was like, I'm okay. Her daughter's okay. But this took place 5 minutes from the school. So she's rushing down. Apparently, like, that area, just that pocket has a bunch of institutions like that. And I was so saddened by this. And for those of you who don't know, 3 children were killed and 3 adults. Well, 4 adults. One by suicide, who was the shooter, and then 3 who were in the school.
Was she shot to death? She killed herself.
She killed herself.
Oh, I thought she was killed.
He. because the shooter is trans, is a trans man. And that will surely be weaponized. I would be dishonest to say that I wasn't disappointed when I heard that, because I just knew that, like, conservative media is going to take that and run with it and, spread out more misinformation and create these narratives that, trans folks are folks to be feared, and this is why we need more guns and more laws outlining it. And then, you also have the whole narrative of this trans man coming into the space where apparently they used to go to school, and it is a Christian school. So, a lot of people are delineating that, oh, this person was ostracized there, probably couldn't be themselves, etc., etc. All speculation right now, but it's really sad. And I had on all counts. I had a conversation on See the Thing Is about it, and I really respected where Bridget was coming from. Bridget was really frustrated by the fact that these conservative states, and this area in particular, it's just come out. I don't think that we had that information then, but that, they have voted against more strict gun laws. Their representative is on the news saying, like, we're not going to be able to fix it. My father always told me if people want to do harm, they're going to do harm. So we have to protect ourselves.
So they're advocating for more guns.
Yeah, the guns are the answer. Yeah. And so she was really frustrated with the people who vote to keep these people in place. And I just want to offer to folks that, like, it's really nuanced, that the NRA is really powerful. The GOP, the Republican Party, is really powerful. And they pump millions of dollars into misinformation and propaganda and fear mongering. And the statistics do not support that more guns help stop gun violence. It is actually the exact opposite. Mm-hmm. But when you're told that, and, when you're told you have to fear trans folks, you have to fear Black folks, you have to, fear all of this stuff, all the other, that there's not enough resources and that these people are coming for yours and that they are unsafe, you tend to believe it. It's like the same, it's like, it's the same kind of propaganda that people fall into when they become religious maniacs and they start to become very extreme. And I know that probably sounds different, like, okay, wait, people flying planes into buildings and suicide bombs, but like, propaganda is such a powerful tool. And so I hesitate to blame these parents. They need to be more accountable and critically think. Well, the take was kind of like these people, like she brought up Uvalde and how the people in that county still voted for Greg Abbott, who's trash, who wouldn't even like really discuss the Uvalde shooting. It was awful. But they still put him in office, and he has loosened the gun laws even further to make them more accessible, even in the wake of that event. And so people were just like, what's going to prevent you guys from voting for this? And I get that, but I just want to put it out there that folks are really brainwashed and they believe in their guns.
I think more what you said, what you really hit on the head, they believe in the threat of other.
Yeah.
I think America was built kind of on those politics of other. And the threat of their culture, the threat on their religion, the threat on their economics is always, put on an other, and you have to protect that, and that's your right. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that is what fuels and validates this violence. Like, you have to, in order to feel like it's okay to kill another person, you have to think that they're a threat to your very existence in a way which feels like them is really scary, but not surprising. not surprising at all. And yes, just like you said, the fact that it was a trans person makes this
Ugh,
all the more terrifying and deepens
the
people's
divide.
fears and the division and the rhetoric, and really puts a battery in folks' backs, and muddies and makes it all the more hard to have the conversation about what really needs to be highlighted in this, which is the guns and which is this idea of other. But like, it just feels like it's going to be drowned out. And there's just so much, I don't know, that just is unbelievably sad. And the fact that I'm really shocked, and I don't know how I should feel, or I think there's mixed feelings about people seeing these images online of the shooter going into the building, shooting in
They're
the glass.
releasing that?
I don't watch it all, so I can't actually say what's on the video. You don't see them killing anyone, but you see them shooting into the glass and entering the building and carrying the gun and walking, pacing the halls, and then the police coming in after them, and the body of lying on the ground after they've been killed. And it's just like,
Again, I
I
think
get the
they were
Emmett
killed by
Till.
suicide. I'm so sorry. I believe that.
What?
Let me look that up.
Yeah,
Or
check that,
what
because I
did the
thought that they were
police
killed
kill
by,
them?
I think the police killed them. I
Oh,
think they
okay.
were shot by
Continue. Go
police.
ahead.
But like, that's all on TMZ. It's all in the Shade Room. It's all on all these, platforms that have millions of followers. And I understand the Emmett Till theory of like, people need to see this shit to know that it's
Mm.
real. But also, does it make it less real to us in a way? Does it desensitize us in a way? I don't know. I don't know how I feel. And I've been seeing on certain platforms more and more killings and shootings, like real life instances of violence that is not from a TV show or a movie. It's like real life violence and death and stabbings happening and being shared on these platforms. I feel like that is so weird. I just don't understand it. I don't understand why people share that, and I'm scared of what the effects of that, because even on me, it's like kind of, I don't watch them, but there's something that is not appalled about it that scares me. Like, oh, yeah.
I can't find who was the, oh, I'm so sorry everyone if you can hear that. I can't find who the who killed the actual shooter, but prayers up to the folks in Nashville. It's a complicated issue. Mental health is involved and as well. But I will say, I'm going to leave us with this stat that for every 100 people in the U.S., there's 120 guns, and that's the guns we know about. So there's more guns in this country than people. And that's bound to get tricky. But let's shift gears a little bit, because we said we were going to make it light, and I don't know if we have the capacity, but let's try.
Yes.
I ran into this clip on the socials of medias, and I wanted to play it because I thought it was interesting as I talk about being in my power, and I'll give you some info on that in a bit.
We live in a culture where everybody's like, girl, shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. But I don't want to shoot my shot. I'm trying to be chose. I'm trying to be sought after. I don't want to have to text a man and let him know I'm available. I don't want to have to be in a man's face and be bold to let him know I'm that girl. I want a man to see me. I want a man to have to go to God about me. You gotta seek God about me. Let me go to God about this one. I can't just step to her. I gotta go to God first. I gotta face God before I can face her. The only thing I want to do is be in position to be sought after and to be seen. Baby, I'm trying to be chose and sought after, period. I know we live in a culture where everybody's like...
Okay. What are your initial thoughts on that?
I think like it feels very black and white to me in a lot of ways. I feel like you can shoot your shot and be pursued as well. I don't know. I don't know. I completely understand what she's saying, and there is something about being pursued, something about knowing that somebody wants you. And there's, of course, ease if that is happening to initiate a relationship as the recipient of it. You don't have to deal with the possible rejection of it, or it feels easy. And I think a lot of women feel that way, or a lot of folks feel that way, of having somebody, especially somebody that you want to pursue you, have that person pull up on you. I don't know if she's alluding to kind of like a chase. Is she alluding to that she's not going to make herself that available, that this person has to really, really pursue her? I don't know, but I'm also like, I love the possibility of shooting the shot as well. I love the practice, especially for women who I feel we have become entitled to being pursued. Mm-hmm. We fear we're not in practice of being rejected and recovering. We're not in practice of radical honesty. Some ways it's like this coy play versus being like, hey, I'm really interested in you. You know, what's up? Aside from, this super hypersexual form of that. And I get it, but I think I'm still team shoot your shot. I think it's a healthy practice for women, and I think it's a healthy practice for men to have somebody approach them. Maybe, I don't know.
So you know me, I am the queen of, we gotta dismantle these gender roles. Up until it comes to
dismantling the gender roles.
No, up until, because I definitely pumped my own gas this weekend and posted a picture. But
Girl.
Up until it comes to being honest about how you feel, ooh, child, I'm terrible at it. I'm terrible at it. And it is mostly rooted in fear. I don't want to be rejected. But then there is a part of me that definitely does not want to make someone uncomfortable, doesn't want to lose a friendship based off the fact that, because most times I'm not going to shoot my shot at somebody that I just see. I have to like see you, interact with you, know what you're about. And by that time, we probably have formed some sort of relationship. And most times I'm friend zoned. So I don't want to mess up said friendship. So I was thinking about the gender roles. And I was thinking to myself, like, how many missed opportunities have you possibly had or missed based off of the fact that you didn't open your mouth and just say that you were open to something? Not like, hey, I want us to be X. Maybe that is what I want. Or why can't it just be like a hey?
You should go practice it. Hey. Excuse me.
I need to.
Hey.
It's there. Hey. Hi. In the case that you happen to be maybe interested. Anyway, so I say all this to say that I actually I've been feeling powerful, right? And I think I felt a little too powerful. And so I did this with a friend recently. And I shocked said friend. I felt badly for him because his response was not like, oh, great. It was like, wait, what? It was like the big eyes of like, huh? And I don't think I put the relation. The good thing is that I did it. I felt good about it. It was just like, good. Hey, listen, if this was ever something that came, no, that's not it. I'm open to it. I'm terrible. It's like, I'm open if you are, bro. Let's explore. If this possibility, if there was an opportunity and the energy was right, fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not like I'm pining. I have these
Hmm.
feelings. I can't get over it.
Hmm.
It's like, yo, you're quality. I'm quality. Why not?
Well, your friends, we could be friends.
But listen, I did that. And thank God, I don't think that the friendship is ruined. I don't think that, I don't know. I don't think it's mutual, but that's okay because
Hmm.
I'm really proud of myself
Nice.
that I did. And I feel like a big girl at this big age of 35 that for the first time, I ain't even told nobody I liked him. I just told him, I'm down if you are.
Because why
That's
are
it.
women given the responsibility to betray? It's betraying yourself. It's like holding something. It's like I'm. It's not being honest. It's
But
about like
why?
women want this thing, but because of these dynamics, because of the power dynamics,
But
right?
what if you don't even want it? What if you're just open to it? What if you're like,
Well,
I don't even
fine,
know if I want it.
but
I just want to see.
it's something to be said.
Agreed.
It's not withholding, and the
Mhm.
fact that women are often we're taught to withhold and to be coy and to give cues. Um, I mean, maybe it makes for a fun chase. I guess I don't know. Maybe does it turn men off? I
I
don't
think
fucking
too,
know. But I
we're,
feel like just on a spiritual, physical level, it's good to get stuff off of you. Otherwise, you're carrying it around and you're kind of like in a conflict. You're like withholding, which just can't be right.
it also makes, I think, room for more closeness.
Talk
It
about
might
it.
push
It
somebody.
did.
I'm so afraid that it's going to push somebody away, but maybe hearing that was like, oh wow, I didn't even know that. Like, I might, even if you don't feel the same way, it's still like, oh, you trusted me with that. It's good to know. And also, maybe that changes how they operate with me. Of like, I
Exactly.
may not be doing certain shit with you because
But at
you
least it's
open to
real.
certain shit,
At
but
least
it's
it's
real.
authentic.
Right.
And yes.
So I feel like there was growth there. Good job
Work
by
on
me.
you.
But I also think it's important that we recognize that men want to be feel desired and pursued too. I'm sure. And I'm gonna get in trouble
See
because
that?
somebody just wrote a long dissertation in the reviews about how I center men. Well, here I am doing it again. I'm not even trying to center them. I'm just saying that I can't imagine having to
And I'll
go
just
through I can't imagine having to go through life and I always gotta shoot my shot and be the person in pursuit. It's too much pressure.
I think it's
It's too
bad for
much.
men, but it's also bad for women. I think we think it's like this place of safety, but again, it encourages withholding
And
and
it's not
it makes
empowering.
you entitled. We feel entitled in a lot of ways that I don't think is healthy, and it's not a great practice of real self-esteem or confidence because you're
Right.
terrified of being rejected.
Right. Someone also told me that they felt like women um it made them more like possessions. Of like
Yeah.
if this man's all if men are always trying to scoop you up and you have to be, this
Hmm.
desirable gem outshining all the other gems instead of like this coming together of sorts of like, hey, I'm
Hey,
open, you open, you kind of dig
bring
it.
your
Maybe
milk
you want
that
to
ass
try?
over here.
You want to try? You want to
Or just like you said, I'm
you try to
I'm
lay with
willing.
me and cry? All I'm trying to do, really. You try to watch Netflix and weep?
Entangled, nigga. It's emotional entanglement.
That part. You just need a little bit of intimacy and care. That's all.
Uh,
But this brings me to my next thing, and we're not gonna talk about it this week, but I do want to talk about an article that someone sent me around relationships, and I have a feeling you're gonna hate it. But it's about Time Magazine wrote an article on situationships, which gets a bad rap. Um, and understandably so, but I do want to talk about it on here because I also think shooting our shot from a woman would be easier if it didn't feel like it was layered with, hi, I like you. Do you want to be my husband? Do you want to be
Do
the
you want
father
to
of my
get
kids? Do you
married?
want to make
Yeah,
get married? Do you want to move in with me? Do you want to take care of me, be
yeah,
responsible for me? Like
yeah.
that's a lot. And I feel like when women shoot their shot, what men are they're not shooting their shot to like necessarily always just enjoy themselves.
Hmm.
Like you said, unless
Some
it's
women do.
rooted some women, but the I'm talking about like the stereotype is that either they're shooting their shot to fuck, friends with benefits, or they're
Hmm.
shooting their shot for their life partner, right?
Yeah,
There is no in between of like, hey,
yeah.
I really think I we could enjoy it some time spent together. Whatever happens in that time, great. But I want to be closer to you. And I'm open to what that looks like. I don't know how many women have those conversations. And
That's so complicated. I can't wait
it's
for you to send that because that is so sounds
it
nice
sounds nice.
when you fall in love
Uh-oh.
or when
I
you're in
knew
a
it.
situationship for a long time without. I think, and I love what homeboy, oh, that star talked about weeks
Mm-hmm.
ago about constant communication. Like you can't say we're in a situationship
Oh
and
no.
then
Yeah.
that's just like years and years. Like there has to be constant communication. I think in any relationship that should be the standard, not just alternative relationships, but
We'll talk about it.
tricky.
We'll talk about it because again, I think the way that we're hearing situationship and the way probably most people are is not the way that the article wrote about it. I feel like the name doesn't doesn't give enough respect and care to what the relationship actually is that the article was describing. But we'll talk about it.
Make sure you read it slow, like last week, so you
You
can
know you
really.
gotta read
Because
it
when you
slow.
with the when you really be reading it slow, you be like, "Yo, that shit don't make no sense,
Hey, wait,
bro."
don't
Like
hold up.
it don't
Good.
add up.
I called you afterwards. I said them polyamorous people be talking real fast. They be talking real fast because it makes
Everybody
sense.
gonna love you know. I'm gonna
They
love you. I'm
saying
gonna love
all the
you.
right words.
Wait a minute. Did you say you're gonna love me? You're gonna love my friend?
Well, why not? See, they say the right word. They say love. They say care, respect, communication, honor. What else?
Honor,
Ethical,
pleasure, ethical.
pleasure, bell hooks. He like, oh,
That's
okay, yeah,
women's choice.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah, we gotta read it slow. We'll read it slow for you. You got something? Do you want to talk about this?
Yes, now we're gonna. I know everybody is like, oh, you know what we want to talk about. I was surprised not many of you guys sent us.
Everybody sent this
Did
shit to
they?
me.
Oh, I
They
didn't see
didn't
it
send
on
it.
the way
Are you
girls.
skipping the one thing though? The girl?
I'm gonna get to it.
Okay.
But I think this last part of this episode, I think we should put a trigger warning. It is about domestic violence. But of course, we all heard about Jonathan Majors, and then after Jonathan Majors, just nearly hours after Jonathan Majors, I saw this about Brittany Taylor, who's a love and hip hop star. Now, I don't know nothing about the sweet baby. This is my first time setting eyes on her and hearing about her story. But she was turned in after hitting her child's father in the head with a baseball bat.
Oh.
And there's a picture of him with blood streaming down his face and her, in a fucked up ass, what you call that, lineup picture? What do you call that?
Mugshot?
Mugshot. And so days later, she was released and she went on to her Instagram Live and she went on to describe that she was abused for 3 years by this man. They have an 8-month-old and I think a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old. She was talking about all throughout her pregnancy, he was abused by her. She then went to tears,
He was
talking
abused
about,
by her or she was abused?
she was abused by him.
Oh.
So basically alluding to, like this was self-defense, that she was tired of the shit. She had just separated from him to find some safety. And, again, they had an altercation in which she was defending herself. And she goes on to talk about how she never wanted to tell anybody, just describing a very typical abuser and victim relationship in which she withheld a lot and endured a lot, and then finally came to her own defense. And then we went and heard about the Jonathan Majors incident. And I looked at the comments that were on her page, and a lot of, before she came out with her live, and a lot of people were, you know, saying that it was ghetto, saying that, some people saying he probably deserved it, knowing immediately that she was probably defending herself. And
I reject that.
Just a lot of like, it was just really interesting to see people's reactions to her situation. And then this came up with Jonathan Majors. And if you guys do not know, Jonathan Majors was arrested last weekend over a domestic dispute between he and a 30-year-old woman in Manhattan. The police were called and he was taken into custody. And the statement from the NYPD said officers placed the 33-year-old male into custody without incident. The victim sustained minor injuries to her head and neck and was removed to an area hospital in stable condition. And then hours later, days later, Jonathan Majors' defense attorney came out and claimed that the woman had taken back in written statements all of her allegations, basically saying that he was cleared, that she was having a mental health breakdown, and that Majors was the one to call the police to basically, you know, get her together, and that he's completely innocent of all the charges, and the charges being assault, strangulation, and harassment, and that there's going to be a video and some witnesses to clear him of any wrongdoing.
The taxi driver is the witness.
The taxi driver's video. Interesting.
And the taxi driver is the witness.
Which still has yet to
surface.
It's
over. It has to be viewed apparently by not DEA,
Joe,
but whoever that person is. The police have to view the video first, apparently. But I do want to say I haven't seen any recanted statements from this woman. And I haven't seen her any statements saying that, official statements from her saying that she was suffering from a mental health issue. This is all hearsay from Jonathan's lawyer.
We heard about this while we were about to go on. Or see, the thing is, Mandy was like, bitch, and pulled up her phone, and then we saw Jonathan Majors on the shit, you know, with that headline, and my heart sank. To be completely honest, and I think we talked about it. I think you and I talked about it. I think we mentioned on the podcast, in this huge escalation, like he's blown up, and he has to blow up even more. He hasn't even reached the pinnacle. There's movies coming out, you know, he's getting this A-list. He's getting a lot of attention, getting a lot of printed media, everything. And so I've been feeling worried about him. And I've been feeling a bit disconnected. I'm very connected to him, but I've been feeling disconnected from him in a way in all of this, and feeling very, worried about his well-being and how he's going to manage this monster that we've seen destroy people over and over, innocent people, well-meaning people, people that so-called have their heads on right, which, you know, we assumed he did, eat them alive. So I've been feeling that. So when I saw that, there was a part of me that wasn't. That was like, okay, the other shoe dropped in a way. Like I wasn't surprised. Maybe that's not the right statement to make. But there was a part of me like, damn, like this fear is now being realized, and feeling like, I don't know if it was like a fight, if it was like drug use. Domestic abuse just is just something you do not want to be connected to. Like, it's a hard one to recover from, in my opinion. So I felt really disappointed and sad for him.
Yeah, I think going back to Brittany really quickly, and here I go with my centering of men. But I don't think that, I think it's sad that the comments for that was like, oh, he probably deserved it. Oh. And, maybe it was domestic violence, but I do find that when men suffer at the hands of women when it comes to domestic violence, we're very quick to dismiss it and to be like, oh, he deserved it. What he do? Aha, he must have been cheating or whatever it was. And that's fucked up. I have a friend that had an incident here who couldn't find any resources for help when he was in a domestic violence. He suffered from domestic violence with his partner. And there was like nothing. And I reached out to mad people to like ask them for resources and nothing was available. And he even said that when it was occurring, people were laughing. They were egging it on. It was a very public thing. And that they were like, what you do? Yeah. Like, and that they were men like, yeah, what you going? You better not hit her. Like, just basically that dynamic of a man is in the wrong if he's hit. So I do want to point that out and say that we need to.
I don't think that her partner was from. I'm
No. I'm not saying.
Side.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he was right at all. I'm just saying, in general, when we see that kind of stuff happen, it's like the Krishan and Blueface thing. Like they're both hella abusive to each other.
I don't know. I feel like
I think it's maybe.
I fucked up. I think it's that is true, but I think in that when it comes to the domestic violence dynamics, I don't know if I feel conflict in assuming that the man. I already assume that the man has more power. And that the woman has to be defending herself. You know what I mean?
I don't.
I just assume it. I do feel that I support the woman automatically because often the case is that there is an abuse of power, that there is an abuse of strength. Shout out to your friend for having an incredible amount of self-restraint. Because if he wanted to, he could probably have ended that really quickly and like shown like, yo, I will.
I think that he's never felt less powerful though.
Yeah.
And I think that, and I think it's what hurt him the most was the fact that he knew that there were no resources, there was no help, and that people were going to come basically assume that he was deserving of abuse. Because he's 6'3", because he's all of these things. He's a gentle giant. He's the sweetest.
I mean, we know a couple people that have that.
Oh, you're right. We damn sure do. Another, yeah. So I resist that. I know that the bias is still there probably in me, but I'm trying to get better at not making assumptions. And then back to the Jonathan Majors things. This is so fucking layered. I would be lying if I said, oh my God, I hope this is not true. And I feel deep conflict about that because I know it's only because he's a celebrity and talented and I'm attracted to him and I want to see him win. He's a black man I'm rooting for. And it doesn't mean that he is not capable of this stuff either, right? And I feel shame around not feeling a whole lot for this woman that I don't know because I don't have a personal connection to her. And in addition to that, we have folks there's this dynamic, right? Now that she's recanted, there's this dynamic and people are saying that she's white. I believe that was confirmed. There's a history of white women accusing black men of doing things that's not true. So then you have that, right? And I don't have disdain for her because she's white. And I also am like, I'm wise enough and enough to know like, well, just because somebody recants doesn't mean it didn't happen. It could mean that it's going to be settled another way. Whatever the case is, money could be involved, whatever it is. I'm not saying at all that that's what happened. What I'm saying is I'm in deep conflict because I know for me, I just want to see this guy win. And I want her to get the help she needs. Now, if he did it, if video footage comes out, right, and it shows him hitting her, strangling her, I'm going to feel really differently. And I'm not going to be in support of him until he gets help. And it's not up for me to decide what restorative justice measures need to be in place. But I would be lying if I said I'm not hoping that this shit is not true. And I think and that stems from, you know, when somebody gets out, you root for them. And especially as an actor, you know, like you know how much they go through. You know, he talked about his daughter. He talked about, you know, they ask him, "Is your daughter excited that you're in Marvel movies?" And he's like, "Does she understand what's happening?" And he said, "She knows we're not living in hotels anymore." That was his response. It's like, oh, you just...
I guess I feel it does. It intersects with a lot.
So much.
I think the one that makes me feel the most uncomfortable is the white woman, black man dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But what outweighs that is the woman man dynamic and the money power dynamic of what's behind him and what's
the machine behind
the machine
him.
That is at risk if he fucks up, that will tarnish the Marvel movies that are coming out, that, you know, just the machine that's behind him, that is pushing him up and putting the spotlight on him, and the measures taken for that not to be sullied and for somebody to be silenced. I think that makes me feel kind of opposite of you, of like, I don't understand why the police had this statement where there were injuries to her head and neck. We don't know. We don't know. It's all speculation. But then, you know, it then intersects with this culture that is very new to us as well, of like, believe women. Like, if somebody says this shit happened, you know, are you believing women if you're saying, well, okay, we just got to see the facts first? Like, girl, okay, I believe you, but I really do need to see. Is that a complete contradiction to, like, I don't have the facts. They're going to tell you that this shit didn't happen, but I'm telling you this happened.
I don't think that's what...
Is that in conflict with... You said what?
For me, no. I don't think, when I hear believe women, and when I say believe women, I do not mean just outright believe women. A woman says something, that means it happened. No. Sorry. No. And I might catch flack for that, but no. Believe women, to me, means believe them enough to investigate thoroughly, honestly, and understand that investigation, whatever comes out of that, needs to be handled appropriately.
Oh, I don't.
That's how I see it. And if a man says the same, it's the same thing where I'm like, I want to see an investigation done here. I don't want to hear that this woman is just having a psychotic break or a mental break. Yeah. Like, that's the most dismissive shit ever. And that's what they go to, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, they were crazy. We just have to, we've seen it a million times. We've seen documentaries where people come, they're up against this machine and they're silenced. Not only silenced, but they're made to be crazy. They're gaslit like hell.
So that's why I don't actually trust this idea of, we have investigated it and she wrote on this paper that
not investigated like police. Not that kind of thing, but like all of us need to make our own personal investigation and try to decipher how we feel. But believe women, as soon as I hear a woman say something, it's not that I don't believe them. It's like, oh, that requires attention and very intentional attention. That requires like, hold up, I need to evaluate my relationship with the accuser. But also you have people like Michael Irving. Do you know who that is? Because he's a sports person. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he was covering the Super Bowl recently, and he was a Dallas Cowboy, but he's older now. He's a journalist. A woman accused him of being inappropriate with her in a hotel lobby. The footage comes out. He's just talking to her. He's weeping in this courtroom.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
ruined. They pulled
A
him
white
immediately. I can't remember if it was a white woman. It may have been, child. Again, their history of it. I truly don't know, though. I'm sensitive to that as well. I'm really sensitive to, you can say anything. And I'm also sensitive to, a man can say, my friend can say, hey, she hit me. And people can be like, you fucking deserved it. She say, hey, he hit me. He's done. It's that double standard exists. It all needs to be investigated equally. And it might be, maybe it's not realistic, but that's what I hear when I hear believe women. It's like, you got to fucking stop and make sure that you validate what they're saying and figure out what the truth is and how, and treat it delicately. That's what I hear.
I guess the biggest thing is that I don't think that society's handling of women, the systems, whether it be the justice system, whether it be our own biases, know how to, I don't know that we are out of patriarchal conditioning enough to do that's actually possible.
Yeah.
And that the cycle just continues. Same with racism. I feel like this is similar in some ways to, Me Too movement, believe women, but like the show must go on and we're going to keep doing the same things that we do and nothing's really being, we don't have the system, the tools, or in practice of really doing what you say of dismantling, of restorative justice, of figuring out what the fuck happened in a way that is long, because this feels like it just wants to be, oh, we're done. She said she didn't say it, we're done. The show goes on. He's innocent.
They can't think that that's how that's gonna go. They can't think that. Do they think that?
I don't know. If the law is, she said it never happened, then it never happened. Like, and it just is so scary when it comes to abuse. And that's why I brought up the issue of Brittany, is that for a long time, she protected him. For a long time, she endured something. And a lot of women who are abused will protect their abusers. They'll have a moment of being like, after they get hit, of being, calling the cops and then recanting and being like, that didn't happen. I'm sorry. I take that back. So it's a really delicate. It's so delicate and it's so serious. And you're right. I'm so sad that it's happening to somebody that we all really wanted to see win. And it feels like we're all a bit deflated, and fuck, God help us all.
Yeah. Last thing, I just want to just say that, I don't disagree with you. I think all of those things are very true. And I'm worried for both of them, honestly, because she could be protecting, he could need help. Right. Yeah. Or, the other way around, where she needs some help and, now he's got to figure out how to get the stench off of him. We don't know. But what I'm saying is I don't know that we've done nothing when it comes to this kind of work. And we have much more work to do when it comes to dismantling patriarchy. But I don't ever think that because someone, how do I say this? If there is injustice happening, right? I don't think the way we even the playing field is by to what? I don't think the way we even the playing field
Is doing the same thing.
is to do the same thing to the folks that are more empowered. You know, like, injustice happens to women, so men, you got to take a back seat.
Absolutely.
And, injustice happens to,
and that's what,
and vice versa.
Of restorative justice, and which feels like the complete opposite of the American justice system still.
And the court of public opinion, that's a real thing. And you better believe Disney that owns Marvel is paying real close attention. The Army already put out a statement because he had he's a military kid, grew up in a military kind of home, but he had an ad about, be all you can be, the Army.
Did he?
Yeah, which is very interesting.
John, the more I learn about you, the more I feel disconnected.
Right, it's like, girl, you better stick with Jason Momoa. He's more the vibe. Jason said, the Army? What? We supposed to climb rocks and eat plants? And anyway, but they didn't pull an ad. Well, they pulled an ad, but they halted an ad of his. They softened that language after the lawyer said she recanted. But the court of public opinion and the way that I saw people throw him away so quickly, threw his ass away without any information. Oh, they didn't even read an article. They just saw the shade room. That's it. They said, "Oh, I knew it, and she white." That's what, and the other narrative is that's what you get for dating white women. It's And then another narrative that's really bothering me is, see, a sister wouldn't have did this to you, and I said, what? So it would be okay. Wait, what are we saying with that statement? If she was black, she would protect you. She wouldn't have. What are we saying?
That if she was black and getting hit, that she wouldn't.
Right. What are we saying with this? Or are we saying if she was black, you wouldn't be in that position because everything would be so peachy? Ciao, shut up, y'all. No. Like, what? It just, it's a lot of disappointment to go around.
Unfortunately, he can't be protected by anonymity.
Say it again. Anonymity.
Oh, I like that word too. Anonymity. Oh, that's a good one.
What do you mean by that?
I hope we don't get an image of her because she's going to be harassed. Because
everybody thinks that it's the woman that he's on the red carpet with.
What woman he's on the red carpet with?
Oh, girl.
The skinny
you
Swedish
don't
girl
stalk him right. You don't stalk him right.
I told you I feel disconnected from him. For real rap, I would have dated him. You wouldn't have dated Jonathan Majors when Jonathan Majors was skinny with it. You would have been like,
have you seen the people that I date? Wait, let's take a moment.
Yes, I have. Maybe
who was my first love?
Antoinette. That's what I'm saying. I think after 21-year-old Antoinette, you would never.
What about the college one who lingered? The older man.
No, like I said, after that, you learned your lesson and you never did it again.
And then what did I do? Then all of a sudden I've only dated 5 people. They've been 5 ever since. Really?
I feel like,
You think I date 5 people?
Yeah.
I want you to say that at the next girls' outing because they all make fun of me about who I date, and I'll be like, they're quality.
I don't think of anybody, of all of us, you date the finest men.
That's what every time they say it, I'm like, okay. I don't want to be disrespectful.
But that's for me to say. Stop acting like you wasn't with him shooting in the gym, and you wouldn't have been. So.
That's not true.
You wouldn't have.
So this might not age well if this video footage comes out and it's tricky. So you can have them for now. Oh, I got the picture right here. I'm gonna send it to you. Well,
y'all are still arguing about this. That was tacky, and I apologize for how we ended that.
No. Seriously, I hope
was not good.
that they both get what they need. This is so sad and unfortunate. And I don't know.
This was an episode that was supposed to be brighter. and exciting.
I know what happened.
I don't think we're capable of it. I think we are who we are.
No, we have
and
to have
be who we gonna be. All right,
fun episode.
I'm telling you, you guys come to this live show, we're gonna cry together.
That part.
Cry.
I feel like if they don't cry at the live show, we ain't do our fucking job.
We ain't do our job.
Live show, we gotta talk about our trauma.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about healing. We gotta do breath work, get real deep, take a little ayahuasca, and really weep. That's what we need to do. We need to just organize a retreat.
Show. That's what I'm saying. That's $3,000. We're giving out drugs, nigga.
We gotta hire somebody though to really lead us through that.
I would never do ayahuasca with a bunch of strangers.
Hell. Oh no. Well, wait. The place that I asked my friend about.
I wouldn't do that either. I know what you're
Charlie
talking about. I wouldn't do that.
Really? You wouldn't do it with me? Because apparently, like, you're in the room, but you go off into the wilderness with, like, who you want.
But maybe I wouldn't want to do it with a bunch of other people's energies. Like, I wouldn't want to, like, I just wouldn't want to do it. I would do it with you. I would do it with
So you wouldn't do the group thing with me?
No, I wouldn't do it with strangers. Like, we already talked about this. Doing it with white people.
I thought that...
Like, I would be so terrified. I wouldn't do it.
I hate to break it to you, Shanti, but we're white. I can't believe it sometimes. That's that brown skin privilege. Who's not white?
I'm not white. To say I'm white is just not honest. My mom's gonna listen to this and really.
Your mother would
on top of it.
Would she be mad? My mom would be upset, but would your mom be upset? I think your mom would be like, yeah, you're not. I feel like she would agree.
She'd be like, but you sure want the white privilege, that's for sure.
You want it here? You want this house?
This house? You want this inheritance if I have any? Like,
tricky.
Yep. Ain't nothing wrong with that either, mother. Lord knows.
That's the whitest shit you ever said. Okay?
It's real.
All right, well, guys, we're still figuring it out because we are still understanding our intersectionality. So pray for us. Pray for Jonathan. Pray for the unidentified woman. Pray for Brittany. Yeah. I think that we just got to pray all around. We just got to pray. Anyway, damn, I wanted this to be an uplifting episode. Fun. Light.
Not us thinking talking about domestic violence was going to be uplifting.
Why did we think
how
that?
Jaded we are. It's going to be funny. Just throw in a little bit of something from Instagram and it'll be good.
What? I know. I found that one dumb clip. It was all hype. Like, all right, we not going to do politics this week.
Are we going to talk about the mass shooting? Then we're going to talk about a woman getting abused and hitting a man, abusing a man, and then a woman. Anyway, I can't even get it together.
All right, next episode will be funny. Maybe.
Really?
I don't know. We have a great guest.
All right, this will be the end of this topic as well for another.
That's your fault. You wanted to bring it.
I think it was
topic.
Important. I think it was important that people really understand what the fuck it was. What are the foundations?
I don't know if we did it justice because I don't know that we really understood what it was. I'm very nervous about that episode on relationship anarchy. I feel like we were confused and that we needed somebody to walk us through that who talks real fast.
No. Whatever. This is all a clusterfuck. The more that I know and learn things, the more that I realize what the fuck, like what the actual fuck is happening.
You want to give us?
I don't think knowing all these alternatives is really helpful. For real. Like from the bottom of my heart, it does not make anything more clear.
More options. We don't want to be free. Tell me what to do, right?
I don't know if it's freedom though. It really isn't. And that's what I guess that's what my buck back is like. Are we really happy? Feels like you're still human doing this existential thing, acting like you know what you're doing, but you don't.
It'd be far more simpler if we didn't know, right?
If we didn't know what?
All the alternatives. I think that's why people do the thing. The nuclear family, it's clear cut. You get it.
Yeah.
You go to, entrepreneur? No, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to make my money, come home.
But you're still unwell. Either way,
You're only unwell if you know you're not well. That's why ignorance truly is bliss. The more you know,
I need the blue pill.
the more disheartening it is.
For real.
Truly. Them people in small towns happy as shit. I'm dead ass. They go to their high schools. They meet their ladies, their husbands by the time they 17, 18.
I want to be a Utah Mormon.
I don't know about.
I want to be a Mormon in Utah that believes that Jebediah, who was born.
And that's no diss. Truly, it's no diss. It's like, yo.
What was that nigga's name that started the Mormon religion? I swear.
What was it?
Gotta be Jebediah.
Look it up right now. Look it up right now.
The fact that I say that's my funniest joke that I think in my arsenal is Jebediah Springfield started Mormonism.
Stop. Why won't you just look it up? Who started?
Because I don't want to know it any different. That's my joke. No,
you have to.
Is his name Jebediah?
Joseph Smith. What?
That nigga name should be the nigga, and it was just like 20 years ago. On top of it,
it was very recent. Modern. 1844.
This nigga's like, yo, hear me out.
Oh no, wait. Joseph Smith was the founder and first president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He and 5 associates. They didn't give them names.
Associates. They didn't say they're my friends. They're my associates. my business partners.
Formally organized the church at Fayette, New York.
What? No,
on
Utah,
April
baby.
6th.
It had to have been Utah. Utah is the hub.
He presided over the church until 1844 when he was martyred.
Martyred or murdered?
Martyred, it says.
Wait, I'm so confused.
I don't know.
What does that mean?
A martyr.
He was murdered.
Because
you can't.
We are embarrassing. I'm upset. I'm really upset. People are gonna call. Oh God. Listen, the doctrines of Mormonism began with the farm boy Joseph Smith in the 1820s in Western New York during a period of religious excitement, which is known as the Second Great Awakening.
It was excitable. Wow. Yeah. It happened in...
They migrated to Utah.
How did it migrate to Utah?
We have to do our history. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe the rent got too high. It was probably
a black man.
No. Joseph Smith, I'm looking at him. He wasn't black.
He was blonde, wasn't he?
Well, bitch, I don't know because there weren't...
Girl, remember
it's black
when you
and
said...
white. When I was like, ain't no pictures of Joseph. Mary and Joseph. Yeah. That ain't what Joseph looked like. That's what I'm saying. Man, I was taught what Joseph looked like. We don't know. Anyway.
He said they got excited and started Mormonism.
He was excitable. Guess how many children he had? He wasn't. He wasn't. Wait, Joseph lived a long life. Hold on. Guess how many kids he had?
About 62.
48. He had 48 kids.
Joseph had that.
How did he die?
She said he was martyred.
That's what I swear to God, I just
had cancer. I mean, in his sleep.
Wow. Wait. 6th president of the... Because who was Brigham Young? Because that's the university's named after Brigham Young. Serve as a president.
He was a Mormon too?
I think that maybe Mormonism.
Mormons, son. That might be a different sect.
We got to get off this episode. The fact that we're still recording. All right. More to come on this. Maybe we should do like a history. You know how they do. Have you ever watched Drunk? Have you ever watched Drunk History?
Yeah.
Maybe we should just do Around the Way history, where we deep dive into history in the way that we recall them.
Nigga, they had the
He died of pneumonia.
I knew it. They said he martyred. See how they lie? They tried to make it all up.
Why ain't say what does murdered mean in that context? Because I swear to God, I read it.
Let me say one thing. I'm going to help you. We're bringing it together, y'all. You heard it here first. Why the Mormons settled in Utah? Somebody by the name of Young led the Mormons on the great trek westward through the wilderness, some 1,300 miles to the Rocky Mountains, a rite of passage they saw as necessary in order to find their promised land. They said New York said the promised land is in Utah. Oh, wow. And we think that's silly, but then we over here... Anyway, don't get me started.
Wait, where were you going with that?
Because people think like think that it may be ridiculous that some niggas in New York were like, we got our rite of passages to the promised land, and then we just find out the promised land is in Utah, but yet so many religions have these promised lands that we all respect and honor when maybe it's as sacred or as ridiculous as that. Who knows? Like I said, you know too much. It doesn't make it doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
I don't get it.
I really enjoyed this. Thank you.
Oh,
what is the name of this episode?
The Mormons.
No. What'd you call him? Jebediah? What'd you call him?
Jebediah Springfield. Leave it to me. Jebediah Springfield started Mormonism when he was excited.
Jonathan Majors
Utah.
and Jebediah Springfield is the name of this episode. That's it. Jonathan Majors. How you spell Jebediah?
I don't know, but it slaps. It feels good on the tongue, don't it? Say it out loud, Jebediah. If I have a son, I'm going to name him Jebediah. Jeb, come here.
Jebediah Springfield. That's amazing. Jonathan Majors and Jebediah Springfield. Okay.
Do you know who Jebediah Springfield is?
No.
Jebediah Springfield is the founder of Springfield and The Simpsons.
Really? So why would you say
because I'm not respectful? Because I don't have any respect for religion of the Mormons in particular.
Why? Oh my God, that is.
His name was Jebediah Obadiah Zachariah.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Yes.
No, you lie.
Hans Sprungfield, better known as Jebediah Obadiah Zachariah Jedidiah Springfield, was the purported historical founder of the town of Springfield and a murderous. Listen, I love The Simpsons. You don't know about Jebediah, Joe?
I didn't know that. Thank you for that. I think we need to go. It's almost 2 hours in. I'm exhausted. I've been trying to hold my eyes open this whole episode.
All right. Peace to the gods, old and new.
Amen. Something is the fuck wrong with you, yo. Seriously. You said Jebediah Obadiah what? That's amazing. Send me that. I still don't believe.
It's of The Simpsons, though, Antoinette. It's all fictitious, okay?
My name is Antoinette, and I think I need to start saying it correctly. Because you know how two people came up to me and was like, how you say your name? And I was like, Antoinette. And they say, you don't say that. I know. I have to stand in my power and say Antoinette. Jebediah, who you really sent it. That's because you say Antoinette. So does my mom. Mandy is crazy. Mandy. This girl been bothering me all day about what to get from this Thai restaurant that I took her to once. And I told her, and she was like, nah, I got the chicken and pineapple fried rice.
Oh, I would tear that up right now.
I feel terrible. I need to go to bed. Take a bath. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so tired. Look at this. Look at all this work stuff. I'm not gonna walk back in. Did you see the
didn't roll, but I got lost a time or two. Wiped my brow and kept pushing through. Couldn't see how every sign pointed straight to you. And every long lost dream led me to where you are.
I didn't know American Idol was still on. We have to talk about this AI stuff. How
Well,
have
I've been
we
trying
not?
to talk about it for weeks.
Oh shit, my headphones are still in. What?
I've been trying to talk about it for weeks.
Really? Why you ain't talk about it?
I did a little bit. It's taken. Oh, look at this little. AI is coming, girl.
I know.
AI is coming.
And not Allen Iverson. Patrick Beverly is so.
Who?
He's a basketball player. Patrick Beverly. Oh, you heard Usher's new song?
Is it great?
Yeah, it don't sound like Usher. That's not it. It's good. I said, who is this? This is what I want you to wear. That's not it. Look at this. Look.
Oh, that's cute.
Not that. The pants. That.
Where'd you get that?
Where'd I get it?
Send it to me.
I sent it.
Listen to
She looks so pretty. Oh.
So y'all have the final show on Friday?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
What y'all talking about?
It's current events, so figure it out on Friday. Work. Work is about to be really intense. Work is like the one area of my life where I don't want to excel. I just want to do my job and fly under the radar. And they keep putting me in like these crazy ass situations and just apologizing. Sick of their fucking apologies.
You talked to Black?
Yeah. I sent him a bunch of the pictures. I got it down to like 30. And he never responded. I wonder if he's going to edit any of them, or I really just want him to say, yeah, that's fine. They're fine as is, because I know that he doesn't want... They're in the drive, too. All of the pictures, Shani, that we picked, it's under images. And then it'll say Black Shoot 2023. And then within that, there's a top Black photos. But I just feel like there's going to be little tweaks that he's going to want to make on some of them. Since it's like, you know, his art. So I'll call him after this. Let's see. Actually, look at him. I want to make sure that you're aligned. But I do want to use a bunch of them that aren't like the top to make those reels where you see us moving, where it's like, you know what I mean? You know, we like took all those pictures, and if you do them back to back, it'll look like a... Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you didn't say anything.
I was letting you finish your sentence.
Oftentimes I don't know where it's going, so I just need you to jump in. I'm like, oh my God, today's Wednesday. I gotta get the video up. You like them?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna come this weekend because I think Savon can't record for Can't Afford Therapy anymore. I need to respond. He's gonna
Anymore?
just this weekend on Sunday. Also, when I come here and sit down and I don't have no clothes on, I need you to tell me to put something on. What? When I had that rap one, tell me to go and go put a shirt on because it just looks annoying. So I don't know. Let me reach out to him. Why are you wanting to use the photos? We need to figure out what we're gonna do with them.
Yeah, I feel like they should be used.
For the reels, right?
Yeah. Or if we're not, sometimes you don't have to do a reel. You just put a photo up and you put the I feel like that attracts people. People want to see the pictures too. You don't always have to feel pressure if you don't have a reel made to just like post a picture, maybe a couple slides that pertain to the joint suite.
Well, I would love to not have to do a thing tomorrow. I'm stretched thin.
A reel?
Yeah.
Well, like, can we pick a photo to put up?
Yeah, we just need to make sure we tag him. What says relationship anarchy? Oh no, child. I would say none of the orange dress. I know he's gonna want to edit that and do shading on that. What's one where the lighting is like good? I like the one ending in 847 or 853.
It's complete chaos.
What?
Just some of these videos.
The videos?
I mean, some of the pictures.
Oh. Are you looking in the top pics or are you looking in all of them?
Oh, where's the top pics?
Okay. That's what I thought. So they're in the...
Oh, here they go. Black top.
At the top, yeah. I do want to do a thing where, like, I'm showing me take your picture, and then I want to post the pictures that I took of you to say I'm a photographer. That's my own thing. Just ignore that. But do you see, I tried to pick some from each outfit. And I don't think I did justice to the red one. The red pants. Oh, they're lower. Okay. But he's got to lighten those up, so I don't want to post those. And we need to...
You see 853.
It ends in 853. It's the denim. I have the denim one, and you have the white t-shirt. Duality is a thing, and the white backdrop in the studio. Those three are 854, 847. They end in that. 853. I really think 847 has the best like lighting where not much is needed. And we would just crop it so that it's not, so it's vertical.
And for just a picture, right?
Yeah, but you would find like other things, right? You know how you curate that? If you can.
Yeah,
you can't, then you
I
can.
have any.
All right, well, then just post that shit. Fuck it. Well, you would crop
Is he going to have a fit?
Huh?
Is he going to have a fit?
No. Not on that one. That one, that's why the lighting is good. I think we just need to crop it so that it's, Let me call him. I'll call him after this. Time is good. I think he'll be fine. Of many of them, I'm sure he'll want to lighten and stuff. Oops.
The boy's a liar.
Why would he do that? Did the Sixers win? They've been losing. All right. So that's the plan for tomorrow, right? And we can schedule it.
You
Okay.
let me
Oh
know
my
when
God, I'm
you're
still recording.